our big debate today. The gloves are off this morning because it's official, ladies, something that we've obviously known for years, but it is now official. Women are brighter than men.
Why does that give you so much joy? Why,
Of course it would. It would give you joy if you were saying
men are brighter.
I
couldn't care less.
Well, that's all right. You can keep out of this then. For years, IQ tests have suggested...
I see people as people, not as women and men.
That's good, darling.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work
for
this
item.
item.
Patronising.
IQ tests suggested that men are the smarter sex. But the first time ever, I think these IQ tests started about 100 years ago, for the first time ever, the female IQ scores have overtaken men's.
Get over it.
Yes.
But is it correct?
We're
now going to find out. We have got the writer and broadcaster Natasha Devon. Natasha says, yes, women have been in the shadow of men for far too long. We've got comedian Ian Royce, who will say goodness knows what. What will you say?
Keep it clean.
What will you say?
These IQ tests, they fascinate me. I actually don't know anybody who's ever taken an IQ test. Have you ever taken
Carol Vorderman. You always read in the papers, Carol Vorderman has a high IQ.
I think, actually, she's probably the only person who's taken this IQ test, and that's why women are now ahead, because Carol was the only one that did it. And that's fine.
I'm happy that I would fail it. That doesn't worry me.
I'd be happy if I could even find out where to take one. I don't even know where you go to take an IQ test.
But that is the thing about IQ tests. They are testing a very specific type of intelligence. And there is a difference between intelligence and capability or skill set. But when it comes to sort of the type of intelligence that you can measure on an IQ test, I'm not surprised at all that women have come out on top.
Yeah, but it's about getting square boxes into holes and putting pieces together.
Is it?
There you go. You have no idea. You're saying that women are far more intelligent because of the IQ test. You don't even know what one is.
Well, I know that it's a measure of cleverness as opposed to the kinds of things that men are technically good at, like directions and putting up shelves.
Yeah, we're good at putting up shelves.
See, but then I must be in touch with my feminine side because I can't put up shelves. But even you would have to admit.
You are you're clever, yes, but you're very good at retaining information, you see. But I think it depends. IQ, like you said, is like they're measuring something very specific. But I think for women, probably that they spent so much time in generations ago not working and staying at home, people didn't kind of even talk about women's intelligence.
Like it was enforced?
Yeah. It was enforced almost. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, we have, haven't we, been historically oppressed for whatever reason, politically, socially, economically. Now, for the first time, and this is a global survey as well, this isn't just in Britain, for the first time, women throughout the world are enjoying the same opportunities in terms of their education. Not everywhere, but in most places. So it's no wonder that we're catching up and overtaking because, you know, you give us the same information and apparently we're able to do more with it.
Well, the only yardstick I really have, and I say to Ruth, is could you command the Starship Enterprise? The answer is no, she couldn't, and I could.
And I say, can you roast a chicken?
Could you fire phasers at close range? You couldn't.
Yeah, you can roast a chicken. You just go to a supermarket and have one already roasted. It's quite a simple scenario, really. But it's interesting you say that women have been oppressed for so many years. And I always debate that argument because I think that the woman's job at home with the family and the children, I think that's a really important job, and I think it's something women should be really proud of.
Yeah,
and
but you say that now as a new man.
As a new man,
yeah, I mean, I wasn't around in the old days. Amen. But in my age, and when I brought up my daughter for the first 9 months of her life, my wife went back to work, and it was one of the hardest jobs I've ever done. Yes. And it did involve multitasking, which I was quite good at.
And capability, as opposed to intelligence of the type that can be tested on an IQ test.
Yeah.
It probably
Natasha,
does.
when I was 18,
yes.
And we were at school, and you were watching football and doing all the things you were doing, whatever it is. And suddenly the biggest humiliation or reality check for blokes was that when it came to the A-level results, all the girls did better.
Yes.
They did.
And they're doing better and better every year.
They are. Well,
they're more conscientious.
Well, the education system is slightly skewed towards women as well, I think, because it's all about how you communicate, both verbally and in the written word, and that is something that women traditionally are better at.
We like to talk.
Yeah, we do.
Like to talk.
We do.
The reason we do better on tests is their attention span can last longer. I mean, I don't know about you, Eamon, 10 minutes and I'm off. I'm gone somewhere else.
No, I am succinct with most things, it has to be said. But I do find an intelligent woman quite attractive, quite sexy. I do, actually. There's something about an I mean, as you know. My intelligence, I find like an aphrodisiac.
But do you think a lot of men are intimidated by intelligent women? Do you think there'll be men reading this who don't like the fact that they're saying, you know, girls at school are now overtaking boys academically and it's becoming more well known?
Well, I know this from personal experience because I'm single and I go on dates with boys who say, I think it's wonderful wonderful that you're so independent and intelligent. And then, you know, a couple of months in, they expect me to be sitting at home, you know, washing up and darning their socks. They don't like it.
What age era are you from? Darning
I'm only
socks?
30. Yeah, darning socks.
Do you still do women still
Socks
darn
are expensive and we're in a recession, Ian.
I know, absolutely. There are cheap shops you can buy socks in there. Do you have actually men that expect you to stay at home and wash things up and darn socks?
Well, just...
You're dating the wrong kind of guys.
Well, OK, well...
I put on a shirt on Sunday and the button popped off at the top, it fell off, and I used an expletive as this happened because I was on the way to the airport, and my wife laughed in my face.
That's actually because we'd had a little bit of a tiff just before, and then it popped off, and I went, ha, what's he going to do with that?
Incredible Hulk style.
That's what women are really good at. They remember stuff, don't they? That's
being
the problem.
cruel. Being cruel.
And they'll put it in the bank. And then
what she's saying is, I could sew that back on if I wanted to, but you didn't want to.
But I choose not to because you've annoyed me.
Did you?
And also, I'm clearly more intelligent because I can sew it on and you can't.
That's
so
right.
where does that put me?
You
Right up
go
there.
to the airport, buttonless.
Yeah, buttonless. That'll teach him.
Chest, a lot of chest showing.
Wow.
Yeah.
But again, you know, things like sewing buttons, men always say, oh, women are better at tasks like that. We're not. It's boring. It's boring for everyone. Yeah. But because women have been oppressed for so long, men have gone, oh, you do that because I've got to get on with the terribly important job of going to work. We don't want to do it anymore.
To the younger generation of women to say, no, get lost.
Well, they are. They are doing it, and you are too, which is brilliant.
What man wouldn't really want to be supported by a terribly intelligent woman who went to work and earned lots of money and you stayed at home? Because I would quite like that.
Yes,
really, you wouldn't feel emasculated.
But why should, if you've got a terribly intelligent woman, partner, wife, why should you go to work and then come home and do... Was that still happening?
Yes,
every survey that's ever done, still to this day,
well,
women are doing the majority of
I think men are doing a lot more than they used to. I mean...
No, you're doing a bit more
Ian,
than you used to.
I never stop. I never stop.
I mow the lawn.
My fingers are worked to the bone.
The
in that house.
recycling. The dishwasher. I mean, loading the dishwasher.
You know how to switch it on, do you?
I load, but then my wife will reload.
But you don't load well. You see, that's women's intelligence is the way we load a dishwasher.
That's what the difference is, you see, because you will have a way of doing it, and I talk generally about females, and if we don't do it your way, it's
because
wrong.
ours is an intelligent way of loading it so we get maximum amount of crockery in there, isn't it?
Well, yes, but I also think you need to let them do it and let them make the mistake and see how ineffectual their dishwashing skills are. Because
but why is it but if it's right, if I believe that's the way to load the dishwasher, what says that's wrong?
Well, empirical evidence in the form of little crusted bits of cereal.
Do you know what empirical means?
Absolutely not.
You are very smart. There's no doubt about that.
See, I like this because you say that you're better at doing the dishwasher, so therefore I would say, well, why don't you do it in future? That's absolutely fine.
Well, let the debate continue at home. Me, personally, I'm cool with intelligent women. I have no difficulty. I admit I am stupid. I don't care, but I can multitask better than you.
Oh, we haven't got time to get on.
I definitely can. Thank you very much indeed. The debate continues. Natasha, Ian, very stimulating that was.